What's up, people? Uh, I'm gonna lean back so y'all can see that again. Show love to my cuz right there, man, for the artwork. Thanks a lot for that, Xavier. That's the logo. This the Diehardfan show. Uh, Great sports, man, and I'm gonna get right in it. I ain't gonna even play with it. I ain't gonna BS with it, man. Right now, you see this on my hat? How deflating is that? Cowboys come out first game, all the hype, all the talk. Everybody expected it to be like last week. I mean, last year's game against the same Buccaneers and come out and lay an egg, man. Come out nothing. I mean, I know we ain't got no big name receivers other than maybe CD Lamb, and is he even big name? We'll talk about that later. But anyway, nothing. We got Dak Prescott thinking he gonna spread the ball around and nothing. These dudes couldn't get open to save their life, man. They couldn't get open to save their life. It wasn't even, I can't put nothing on the defense. The defense did the best that they could. They made them kick a butt. They made the Bucks kick a bunch of field goals. Got a couple of sacks on Brady. Even got them to turn the ball over, and the offense couldn't capitalize on none of that. 3 points. 3 points. Three. 3 points. 3 points in a professional game. And you the Dallas Cowboys with all the hype. I don't know what Jerry talked about. Then on top of that, to compound things, to make matters worse, Dak gonna be out some weeks. Some say 4 weeks. Some say 5 weeks. It don't matter how much time he out, and he ain't have much to work with on offense. I never expected this to come out like that. But it seems like they picked up where they left off last year in the playoffs. Like, uh, you know, we've been harping on it. I've been talking about it a lot. Penalties seem like get a big run. Penalties. But here's my thing. Uh, Being a fan of the sport, Ezekiel Elliott was running the ball a little bit. Pollard not so much. But Ezekiel Elliott was running the ball a little bit. I think 10 carries, 50 something yards. I mean, but that's 5 yards a carry. Why he didn't get 15 or more carries or something, in a game like that, that was as close as it was for a while, for a minute, throughout the game. Why is it always this forcing? I guess you figure, man, you paying Dak all that money, you might as well throw the ball, but who's he throwing to? None of these guys could get open. I was optimistic thinking that these guys would get open. Now, I know it's only week one, but without Dak, are these guys going to get open for Cooper Rush, whoever the quarterback is? I mean, people saying, "Oh, go get a quarterback," but who is there to get really? That's going to come in right now and make an impact until Dak get back. Might as well ride with Cooper Rush, in my opinion. Let Cooper do his thing. Let's see what he got on it. May not be the rosy. Now we're looking at over something start. Are we ever going to score a touchdown? Are we ever going to score a touchdown? I mean, you never know. I mean, I rep the star, man. I rep the star. I rep the star, people. And I'm going to continue to rep it. I'm going to continue to rock. But it was just deflating to see. Bright spot was Michael Parsons. To Donald Wilson, I think it's Donald Wilson or whatever, number 6 with the interception. It was some bright spots on defense. The defense did a heck of a job, in my opinion. The only thing is tighten up that run game, though. I mean, Leonard Fournette ran all over him. But that's what happens when you have a smaller defense up front, when you have a smaller D-line. Linebacker's not that heavy. When you're playing for speed, sometimes you give up the power game, and Leonard Fournette capitalized on that. And that hurt. That was awful to me to see my team go out like that. First game of the year, you want to win. Doesn't everybody want to win? Now, switching it up a little bit on the Bucs side of things, is that defense really that good? They held Dallas to 3. Like I said, Dallas didn't give them much to defend against most of the game. Even though they didn't sack Dak a hell of a lot, they got like 1 sack or something. Lots of pressure in the face at times, but you know, I wonder if that defense is really that good. Because if the Bucks defense is that good with Brady behind the center man, they're gonna be tough again to stop. But we knew that coming in that they would be a tough team. But they're gonna really be tough. Um, I'm hoping my Cowboys can right the ship, just like all Cowboy fans. It's like, Dak's man. It just seems like, Dak is just. I hope he's not becoming that Tony Romo thing that was just injury prone, and this is the guy that we depend on the most, and we don't have anything to turn to. You know, we had nothing after Tony Romo when before Dak got there, and then Dak took over. So it's the same thing with Dak. We really have no formidable backup. That's most of the teams in the league though, without formidable backups. It's like I remember when the dynamic was different. You remember when Frank Reich came in for Jim Kelly, and he could keep the thing moving downfield. He can keep the game going. He can keep it popping. That's just an example. Remember Jeff Hostetler stepping in for Phil Simms and continuing. I mean, where is that at? Where is the backup quarterbacks? Are we not putting enough stock? I talked about it a little bit, but you know, you paying all the starting quarterbacks all that money, but nobody's thinking about, hey, the guy may get hurt, and you may have to bring a guy in. Um, what's his name? Huntley did an all right job last year for Lamar Jackson, but did he really though? Because they really weren't winning games at a high clip, at a high level. So did he really? I mean, he stemmed the tide a little bit, and that may be good. But and then the ultimate backups. You got to look at the ultimate backups. You got to look at when um, when Montana was about to be replaced. They came with Steve Young. Steve Young sat on the bench for a while and took advantage. He played down in Tampa. Before that, but when he got to San Francisco, when he got to San Fran, he was on the pine. I think now it's about backup quarterbacks. I mean, how important are they? They are really important. I mean, I know the starting quarterback gets all the hype, gets all the money. It's all about wins and losses, for them. But you got to have some backup sometimes. Even funny thing, even Jason Garrett was a decent backup in respects to Troy Aikman, to keep this ship afloat. Like, so where do we turn? How do we get this ship back right? And will we score any touchdowns in the weeks that Dak is out? It's going to be tough scoring unless the defense and special teams step up and start scoring, which was what it was in preseason. It seems like our preseason is now, a direct link to our regular season so far. It's just one game. I'm not panicking. I'm a true fan. I'm gonna stay the course. I hope everybody else, this Cowboy fan, stay the course and see where it goes and see how things move. And moving from the Cowboys, with they broken upness, man, it's so much they broke it. Like I I thought Dak would spread the ball around, but receivers got to get you a target, and then you got to catch the ball when it's thrown, and then you got to have that timing. Um, Dak was off with some of his passes, so he definitely stunk it up. Thumb injury or not, he stunk it up. Um, I don't know if it was lack of trust with the receivers, or lack of coordination or execution, but it just looked awful. And then still with all the penalties, man, still got like 4 or 5 penalties in the game. Number 78, yeah, bro, I'm calling you out. You got a lot of penalties, like dumb penalties too, penalties that didn't have to be. It seemed like, um, you know, transitioning that Michael Parsons, man, fierce. Wow, the guy did his thing, but I think he could have had 3 or 4 sacks in the game. But if he didn't throw up that two and start dancing and piss Tom Brady off, and then you see Tom Brady. I don't know if everybody's watching the game like I was watching the game, but Tom Brady got in that man's face. He got it. He got in the center's face. I think it was number 70. The guy that calls the guy that makes the calls for the offensive line, and he was like, "Man, y'all better block that guy." The guy better not get another hand on me. I bet you that's what Brady was telling him. That guy better not touch me again. Like, for real, because Michael Parsons was on him, and you got to give him, you got to give him that respect that the young man is trying to live up to the bill of what he said, that he was chasing records. That's the bright spot for the Cowboys, but that was it. That was it. That was it. The Buccaneers, however, like they didn't play that well in the game. Like it wasn't a great game on their part. They got stalled out a lot by that Dallas defense. They had to kick like 4 field goals where normally Tom Brady would put that ball in the end zone. So, you know, they got work to do as well. But it just seems like they're a little bit ahead. But when you hold the other team to 3 points, you really don't have to do much. So it's understandable. Now, other games that I looked at and I was like, well, everybody making a big deal about Aaron Rodgers. Every year this guy gets off to his start game one where it's like whatever, and you don't know when he gonna turn or how they gonna turn it up, but he finds a way to turn it up. Like Green Bay definitely gonna move the way Aaron Rodgers wants them to move. So once he gets on page with the receivers, if he has something to work with, he'll make that happen. Um, you know, but the Minnesota Vikings, I was living up in Minnesota, and I don't really care for the Vikings that much. Like I say, the fans are always hype on them. You don't never know what they're gonna do. But Minnesota looked impressive. They look like they got something to work with. New coach, new style of offense a little bit. But you still got Kirk Cousins back there. So just wait and watch, and then you'll see where they end up when it's all said and done. One game, I'm gonna say that it was impressive. I'm gonna say it seemed like they was clicking. It seemed like they was ready. It seemed like their offense has been revamped and they have something new to make moves. Zimmer's gone, Zimmer's gone, whatever his name was. He's out, and they bring in uh, a new head coach, and they look pretty impressive. But we're gonna sit back and we're gonna really peep and see what happens throughout the season. Now I want to get to as far as looking at last week, man, Justin Fields and Trey Lance. That's this is supposed to be the future of the league. I don't know if Trey Lance gonna make it. Man, I think Jimmy G is gonna be starting before the season's over with. If that's what they're gonna get out of Trey Lance, if that's what San Fran's gonna get out of Trey Lance, now you see why they kept Jimmy G. I told you, and don't I told you, but Justin Fields, just having someone believe in him and having someone ride with him, a coach that just gives him a chance, man, what does that do? I mean, you don't know how far the Bears could go. They could be a sleeper team if they keep playing that defense the way they play in the defense. And Justin Fields just has to do enough, to manage the game, to win games. And I don't care what you call it. It's impressive to me because, you know, uh, last year he was, even though he was given a starting opportunity, I don't think that the head coach gave him enough wiggle room to make the plays to do the things that he's great at. And now he has somebody that apparently is going to let him do what he's great at. Um, I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be monumental for him. Um, let's see, Patrick Mahomes. You can talk about Patrick Mahomes without Tyreek Hill. Impressive, man. Impressive. Patrick Mahomes is, let's face it, people. I didn't want to face it early on in his career, but I had to face it. He's going to be great. He is great. He's already a Super Bowl champ. The guy is great. Waiting on him to fall off might be like waiting on Brady to fall off. I mean, this guy just has so many tricks in his bag, man. He got so many ways to go about it to get it done that you just gotta love it. You just gotta respect it as a fan of the game. You just have to respect what he's doing. You have to appreciate all that he's giving you, and not only that, but as a man, like I say, as a diehard fan, because this is a diehard fan show. I'm Cornelius Cole, aka the People's Coach. Uh, Also, while I'm taking a minute, check out my other show on iHeart, WDRB Media, iHeart Radio, um, Apple Music, Tuned In, uh, the Sim Show, aka Stimulate Your Mind Show. Or you can hit me up at thesimshow.com. Check me out. But as I was saying, Patrick Mahomes is the truth. We saw Kyler Murray struggle. Um, That doesn't mean that he won't be great someday. It's just not his time yet. I mean, and I don't have much stake in the Arizona Cardinals organization, so you know, that's no surprise to me. Now I want to talk about Geno Smith. I really want to talk about Geno Smith. Remember, I told y'all, you keep Pete Carroll riding with him. So it might be something about Geno Smith, all his early struggles. Those that have followed the game know that he struggled, know that it's not his first go round at being a starting quarterback in the league. But now he's with an organization that believes in him. Not only that, he's with an organization that has won some in recent years, and he's got a good coach, Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll believing in him. I mean, it wasn't an impressive game. I mean, but Geno came out firing. I mean, everybody talks about, I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing about, oh, he started out 13 for 13 or whatever, 13 for 14, 17 for 18 in the first half. Look, I don't care about all that. Look, because it was dink and dunk stuff. We know it was. He threw for 195 yards. He threw 28 passes overall, completed 23 of them, but it was 195 yards. So he wasn't really throwing the ball. He wasn't slinging it all over the place. It wasn't a 300-yard game. It wasn't that. But what it was I can play within an offense. And sometimes that's all you need from a quarterback is to play within an offense. And Geno showed you that he could be accurate within that offense, those things that they were asking him to do. And that's the start. Now, on the other side of it, the Russell Wilson, man, I mean, everybody make all that hype about Hackett. Okay, Hackett. He's even come out and changed his mind. I guess the talk got to him and the pressure got to him. I mean, but that's how you know that the Denver Broncos are not going to go that far. Like they won't be Super Bowl. They won't be mentioned in the Super Bowl because your coach has already backed down from a stance. Man, you made a decision and you made that decision to kick that field goal. You kicked that field goal. It didn't work. And now, a few days later, you backing off of it. Like, it was a dumb decision. I should have went for it. Hindsight is 2020 for anybody, man. Like, but as a head coach, I need you to be better than that. I mean, just speaking for the average fan, I'm just saying I need you to be better than that. And I'm sure his players feel the same way. Man, you made the decision. We lost. Let's get over it. Let's go back to the grind. Let's come back and show them what we're about. Let's not worry about it. You went for a record-breaking field goal. I mean, and you were so confident after the game that was the right choice. And then, so what changed your mind? It had to be the talk. It had to be the pressure of the media. It had to be the pressure of the fans. It had to be the pressure of the people. As a head coach, you can't cave to the pressure of the people because you'll always make a poor decision. Then it's like you made a bad decision. You had to live with it. That's cool. But you made a decision. As being the head guy, you made a decision. Sometimes it's going to go that way. I mean, it is what it is. You gotta suck it up. I don't like Hackett backing down from his decision. I'm sure I'm not probably the only one that don't think that, but I think that he shouldn't back down from his decision. I think that he should really just held his ground. He should have just lived up to the hype. I mean, like the hype behind it was, hey man, hey, we got it to the 46-yard line. What happened to that? Then all of a sudden is, I should have went for it. I should have let Russell Wilson because it's the pressure. And look, people, just because a person makes a certain amount of money doesn't mean it should all fall on their shoulders. Why are we always trying to put it on the quarterback? Sometimes it's a team game. The kicker gets paid too. No matter how much he gets paid, the kicker gets paid too. His job is to kick it between the uprights. No matter what the distance or whatever, his job is to get it between the uprights. So, the coach made that decision. So, in my eyes, the only bad decision is coming back a few days later and backing down from your decision that you made in a game. Yeah, it's some bad decisions made. And yeah, maybe perhaps you should have went with Russell Wilson, but if Russell Wilson don't complete the pass or whatever happens, if they don't get the first down, then you still got the same result. You still lose by 1 point. You lost the game. Go back, get ready, come back. Now, an apology that I want to give is to the Miami Dolphins. I still don't think that they're going to go far, but I will say I didn't think they were going to beat New England. And I will say that I didn't think Tua, who really wasn't, if you go by the numbers, he really wasn't all that impressive, but he did his thing a little bit, but they beat the Patriots. I didn't think the Patriots would give them 20 points. They gave them 20 points, and Tua now has, he's beaten New England like 4 times or something, like, or whatever it is, you know. Um, but that's all right. I still think New England will be around in the end and Miami won't. I'll stand on that. I will stand by that. That New England will be around in the end and Miami won't. I'm confident in that, but I do owe them an apology. I thought that I didn't think that they would score any points. I thought Bill Belichick's defense would come out and shut them down, which, giving up 20 points or whatever they gave up. They didn't give up an extremely large amount of points, but, it was enough for the Dolphins to win. It was enough for Tua to prove that he can play a little bit. But we'll wait and see as the season goes on and the pressure gets tougher as games get more meaningful. We'll see what happens. I'm still, like I said, I'm not backing down. I don't think the Dolphins are going anywhere. A lot of people have them picked to make the playoffs this year. I just don't have it. I don't see it happening. Um, and now I want to talk about, not only did I see some impressive stuff from last week's games. Um, you know, as soon as my show aired on a Wednesday, Thursday, the Thursday night game was one sided. The Bills crushed the Rams, and I thought the Rams would have put up a fight. But it's that Super Bowl hangover. No doubt, it's that Super Bowl hangover. It got the Rams, and actually, I don't know if the Rams are gonna bounce back or are going to do anything this year after what I've seen. And it's not saying that, but they're in the same boat as the Cowboys, pretty much, man. What are you going to do? I mean, um, you got a Cooper Cup heavy offense. Matthew Stafford just forcing the ball to Cooper Cup as many times as he can. But Cooper Cup lives open. I didn't think that they would let the guy be open, but the guy finds a way to be open quite a bit. So you got to say, man, um, Cooper Cup is for real. I didn't think he would be for real, but he's for real, and he did his thing. Yeah, he shined. He did his thing. He shined. Then you look at Pittsburgh, what they did to the Bengals. But it's up and down with the Bengals. But Pittsburgh, I gotta say that it's more about, to me, the injury to Watts. It seems like the Watts brothers, JJ and TJ, have suffered their fair share of injuries. Wasn't TJ Watt hurt last year? It's like every time you turn around, the guy's hurt. I mean, the guy is phenomenal on the field, man. The guy is great. He a beast out there, man. But it's like he's always hurt. So it's like, man, they paid him all that money to be hurt like that. Like, as soon as they gave him the money last year, he was hurt. So this year he's hurt again. I think it's a torn pec or something wrong with his pec. They said he's not going to be out as long, but he's going to be out a while. So you got Dak and you got TJ Watt. You got some big names. I mean, those are two real big names and two meaningful people for their organizations, for their respective organizations that are out. And, injuries are a part of the game, but you don't really want to see players get hurt, man, or injured, or, not being able to perform. I like to see all the teams at their best. And I don't want to go through every game from last week, but I will say that, if I had a game ball to give, it would go to Justin Fields. Um, Chicago, right off the rip. I saw what those Eagles did. So the Eagles put up 38 points, but they gave up 35. And in my fantasy football, by the way, I have them as a defense. I'm glad I went with the New England's defense, which is my other defense. I'm glad I started the New England's defense. They gave up 35 points to the Detroit Lions. So, but they won the game, though. They got the W. Shout out to them. And who would have thought that at this point, after one game, I would be looking at, every team in the division won except for the Dallas Cowboys. Every team in the NFL East won, in the NFC East won, but the Dallas Cowboys didn't win, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Giants got to win over the Titans, which, by the way, Titans made dumb decisions, 2-point conversion. It's just, oh, man, pitiful. Yeah. Just ridiculous. But the Titans, they didn't just squander the game. I'll take nothing away from the Giants. The Giants seem like they have a new coach, so they have a new regime there as far as the coaching staff and stuff. You know, that's about winning. Hey, here's the secret: they got rid of Jason Garrett. I mean, I have nothing personally against Jason Garrett. I'm just saying, offensive coordinator, head coach, the guy is he's not that. Neither one. Neither one. He just hasn't been impressive. You know, uh shout out to Jerry Jones for giving him a chance and then the Giants taking a chance, but let's just be real. You know, no. Um I like him better on NBC talking with Tony Dungy. I think that's where he belongs, man. Jason Garrett, man. Um, just not very, I don't know, like not very adept with the football knowledge and not able to bring the best out of the players. You need that from a coach. You need that from your leaders, man. You need them to bring out the best. And now I'm gonna take a minute and I'm gonna um, switch a little bit from the NFL. I'm gonna come back to the NFL, but I gotta get this off my mind. I gotta get this off my chest as far as hearing the news about the NBA, Phoenix Suns owner Sarver, whatever his name is, Robert, whatever his name is. Man, look, uh, 1 year suspension. I think $10 million fine, whatever the fine was, whatever. But suspended from his organization for a year. Those that don't know, he's been accused of having, racial issues, misogynistic, all this stuff. Usual stuff that they hit in all executives and owners and stuff with these days. Um, and yeah, that's been known. Jerry Jones does hire head coaches that don't question his authority. Um, I get with that in a minute, but I feel like this needs to be said as far as the owners. This is my problem. I'm not mad about the suspension. The NBA did whatever they felt was right. And, I've listened to arguments all day and debates all day and discussions all day about it. As far as, oh, they didn't have evidence like they had against Donald Sterling. It's not recorded. It's not this. It's not that. Look, here it is right here. And then I even heard the Keisha and Jay Will and Max show. I heard them guys saying that the players got to step up and they got to sit down and not play for the guy, and then they'll get rid of. Man, look, if the NBA wanted them gone, they should have got them gone. Why? Why aren't the other owners stepping up? And we all know the truth. See, the elephant in the room is that the other owners won't step up and say, hey, that guy has to go because they got skeletons in their own closet, man. It's like, that's the real right there. And nobody wants to address that. But the other owners, are not stepping up. It's what, 30 teams in the NBA? And you got 29 owners. None of the owners are speaking out. Why are in any of these leagues or whatever, why are none of the owners ever pressing the other owners and saying, clean up your act? Because they don't want to clean up their acts. I mean, you have to understand that it's a collective thing. Like when they go to deal with the money and all that, they talk collective bargaining. Well, these owners, it's a collective bargaining. It's a collective thing. No doubt in my mind, it's a collective thing. And no doubt you can see it because no owners are pressing saying, hey, we're not going to tolerate that. We need them out of here. No, they don't want you sniffing around you know, their, their houses or their boxes or whatever. They don't want you sniffing around. So they keep their mouths shut. And this stuff is allowed. It's allowed. This guy 20 years deep. So if you open, once you open that Pandora's box, man, it's probably a wrap for a lot of the owners and they keep their mouths shut. But I'm sick of the emphasis being on the players. The NBA players have done a whole lot to push change in at least their league and even in some instances across the nation. It should not be on the players because they are predominantly black. It should be the other owners. Why aren't the other owners speaking up Snyder in the NFL. I don't even want to go back over that. I've been over that so much. But I'm just saying these different things, the owners are not stepping up because they got something to hide. Otherwise, they would talk. And you mentioned Jerry Jones, like take it NFL. Jerry Jones is one of the most outspoken owners that you have. But when it comes to Snyder, he hasn't said one word. You know, he had something to say about the taking the knee thing. He's had something to say about every issue that comes up except the Snyder thing. Because you don't want them snooping around. You don't want, you don't want all of your stuff exposed. So you keep that on the hush. But if you're really going to get changed, this was going to have to change. You're going to have the owners. You're going to have these execs, even GMs and stuff, speaking out and saying, "Hey, we're not going to tolerate that." I mean, it's going to have to be more than just the players. Why is the emphasis on the players? And this guy, they saying 20 something years of this stuff, so it's been going on for a long time. And why is it just now coming to light that something needs to be done? Uh, like with a lot of issues, that's what I have with a lot of things. They say, "Oh, it's been going on for this many years." Then why do we let them make it for that many years? Because it's about the money. We know why people let them make it. Hey, this guy, hey, I'm making terrific money here. I don't really want to rock that boat. But hey, like you can still make your terrific money and rock a boat sometimes. I mean, you know, it has to be done. Things have to be cleaned up, but it has to be more than just the players. I wouldn't be mad if the Phoenix Suns players totally ignore it and go about their business and go out there and make their money and go out there and do what they love and not stand up and fight this one. I know Chris Paul was on the other team where it happened. He was on the Clippers team when when the similar things happened and they got rid of the owner. But like I said, I can't fault the players for this time saying, you know what, man, we tired. There's got to be somebody else to help us fight this fight. We can't just keep fighting it ourselves. You know, it's like really America. That's starting to, like that's the reflection of Black America. Sometimes is that and I'm just saying, not only that, but that's the reflection of women in America. Sometimes that's the reflection of America. Sometimes is that hey, we get tired. Sometimes somebody else is gonna have to pick up the weight. I'm Cornelius Cole, man. And I love to stimulate your mind. I don't know if you can see my shirt, stimulate your mind, but I love to do that. But anyway, back to this diehard fan. Being diehard fan, you know, um, college ball. That's where I want to go real quick. Man, Alabama squeaked by Texas. Alabama squeaks by the Longhorns, which Longhorns should have won that game. Some people said that, if their starting quarterback didn't get hurt, the Longhorns would have handled them. I'm not going to even go there. The missed field goals, that's what cost them to me. And then letting Alabama drive down real easily in the end, but the defense did all that they could do. But Alabama squeaking by, and it's still going to be one of the top teams when it's all said and done. They played against an unranked team. I don't think the rankings are fair. I said that last week. They're never going to be fair. It's never going to be a good thing when it comes to the rankings. It's always going to be a SEC highlighted, evidently, and Alabama is always, they're always going to be the creme de la creme of that. So, like it kind of takes the flair away from, really, really a fan like me getting into the college. I mean, I just watch the players. I just love to see the players, the up and coming players, the players that's earning the name. I mean, I don't even really care about the rankings at this point. A good game is a good game. Teams are good because it's all lopsided. It all leans towards the SEC. It all leans towards Alabama being at the top. And a lot of people will say, well, knock the SEC out. But how can you knock them out when they come in heavily ranked in preseason and they play each other? So no doubt, like they play each other. Like, Alabama gets to go and Georgia gets to beat up, and Auburn was there for a minute. I mean, they get to beat up on each other, but they play the wackest teams in the division sometimes. And then until they're forced to play each other, like in an SEC championship game or something. So, the other teams, they do what they can to step up, and it's an upset here or there. But it's always the same thing with the college ball. I'm really not impressed. So it's like, so here it is right here. Bold prediction. for the college playoffs this year, since they still have 4 teams going in. Bold prediction: Alabama and Georgia. And you guess the other 2. Name the other 2 teams. Period. That's it. That's it on the college ball. I mean, you don't even have to, like I said, watch the games for the love of the game, but you don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to worry about it. Those teams are going to be, no matter if they lose 1 or 2 games, they'll still be up there at the top. Trust me, it's going to be Alabama, Georgia, and 2 other teams. Name the 2 other teams. It's nothing to get excited about when it comes down to that, in my opinion. It's not exciting. What was almost exciting was Texas almost taking down Alabama. I watched that game from beginning to the end. Shout out to DC. I was in DC on the weekend, and I still was able to catch that game. I was attending an event. Shout out to that fraternity, the military fraternity, Cyro 5, for putting on a good show and allowing me to be a part of that, by the way, watching the crossing and stuff like that. Also, just the particulars of watching the game, I didn't see much impressive. Texas played their tails off, but I didn't see much impressive from Bama other than Bryce Young doing this thing at the end of the game, going out there to win that game. But like I said, the numbers will tell. And by the way, I'm bringing you guys this show from the lovely Rock Island, Illinois. Shout out to Rock Island, Illinois. I'm always traveling, always on the move here. Lately, it's the Diehardfan. It's yours truly, Cornelius Cole. And don't forget to check out Nerd Focus. Nerd Focus. Get your mind right with that Nerd Focus. Yeah, you're looking for an energy drink, what I'm saying? Something to help you focus, something to give you that little boost so you can focus. Check out Nerd Focus. Aaron Judge, man. I watched him personally last night. Sat there and watched the Yankees play the Red Sox, which I'm going to switch up now. But I watched the Yankees play the Red Sox. There we go. There we go. I watched the Yankees play the Red Sox, and the guy is impressive. I watched him hit 2 home runs last night, like in live action. It was some of the most, man, I don't know, those that follow the baseball, man, they ain't giving you much to watch, but that is something great. He hit 56 and 57. He made past the Roger Maris for the AL league. The AL home run record. But he's 20 home runs above the closest guy, man. I heard that today, and I thought that was impressive. Like, he's 20 home runs up on the next closest person to him. Number 2 in baseball, has like 37 home runs or something. This guy has 57. I think this guy is I think he's a tremendous athlete. I always thought he was, but he stayed injured a lot. And now that he's healthier, you start to see, man, but the guy's a freak of nature, and the guy hits the ball out the park. But sometimes it just looks like the pitcher makes a mistake. He capitalizes on the mistakes, but you can't throw a hanger to that guy. That guy's putting it over the wall, but he's carrying the Yankees right now, and that's what I want to talk about. Carrying the, all the honor and prestige and all the championship lore and all that stuff that comes with the New York Yankees, which is why I'm a fan in the first place. I love winners. These guys have been notorious for winning. And, to watch a guy put on that kind of performance, man, even when the pitching is bad, even whatever, just carrying them. He hit 2 home runs last night that were very important because each time he hit those home runs, he helped them tie the game up, and then they eventually went on to win in extra innings. But what Aaron Judge is doing right now is real. And if you listen to me, it's really where I'm going with this, because I said this. You can go back and you can check out the previous shows. I said this already. about the record breaking, about where things rank. So now all these other networks and everything else, they just basically saying what I've already said in regards to where things rank. This guy is about to break the record. Some people saying the true record, 61 home runs by Roger Maris. They're saying that Barry Bonds stats don't count. They're saying that, the Sammy Sosa's, the Mark McGuire stats don't count. They saying this now. Remember, I already told y'all that. I already told y'all that it was going to be this debate. It was always going to be this thing. And you know my stance on it if you heard my show. So I'm going to reiterate, since it seems to be a popular topic, and in coming weeks it's going to be more popular. But remember, if you listen to me, I said it beforehand. Look, Barry Bonds records, all that stuff should stand. The league didn't have a problem when it happened. It shouldn't be a problem now. However, what Aaron Judge is doing is real, and it's going to be all those critics. I mean, you can. It's a free country. You can make your own opinion. You got your own rights to feel how you feel. But this is how I feel. I feel like no such thing as a true record. A record's a record. I mean, if you don't want it to be a record, then take Barry Bonds out of the record books. Take Sammy Sosa out of the record books. I mean, define it then and let us know. But I like Aaron Judge's response to the thing is that he's not worried about a record. He's just trying to help win games, which is what you expect him to say when they're in a race for a pennant. They're in a pennant race. You expect him to say that. But it's on the back of his mind that, man, I'm almost dead. And he'll probably look at it later on. But what I really see in baseball right now is here it comes. All the old stuff is gonna come back up, and one person that I'm always tired of hearing about is Babe Ruth. It's like, man, I didn't live through Babe's era, and we understand that he was good. He put up all these records, he did all this stuff, but time has changed, and there's been better players than Babe Ruth. But baseball won't let that go. They won't acknowledge the fact that Hank Aaron was better. They won't acknowledge the fact that Willie Mays was better, than Babe Ruth. I don't know why. I'm not going to say it has something to do, with being handsome, the color of the skin and things like that. I won't say it has anything to do with that. I'll just say that maybe because Babe was the original, and maybe, Babe was the original hype or something in baseball to get people into the stands or something. I don't know why, but you don't hear him mentioning Hank Aaron's name or Willie Mays' name as much as Babe Ruth. As much, that's announcers all across the thing. Like, Hank hit more home runs than Babe. Hank played, outfield. He was an outfielder or something like that. He played great. Gold gloves, all that stuff. But he doesn't get all the hype that Babe Ruth gets. So, sometimes, and I don't like to make everything black and white, but sometimes, I want the light to shine where the light should shine sometimes. Like if you're going to put Babe Ruth out there, then mention Hank Aaron. Then mention Willie Mays. Those guys help make the game as well. You know what I'm saying? In the time period, after the Jackie Robinsons and stuff like that, they help make the game, fun. They help make it to where you had, more people in the United States of America wanting to play the game. I mean, now where is that at? I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. You put the focus on all these other things, and then you lose that. You lose that. Like, it's not a huge deal. But now I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna go back to the NFL because there's games coming up. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Mahomes is getting ready to play against Herbert tomorrow night, and I want to talk about these two quarterbacks separately as far as the implications of this game. Well, team-wise, we know it's a team sport, but as far as the head-to-head matchup, I want to see Herbert really shine because I'm tired of hearing about how great he is and his team's not winning and not producing. So I want to see a divisional game which everybody's thinking this division is going to be tough and it's going to come down to all this, which I don't. And I've said that numerous times. But now you're going to get a glimpse of what it's going to look like. And of course, these guys have played each other tough before. These teams have played each other tough in the past, and it's probably been splits and things like that. But let's see just who's more serious on the Thursday night game. You know, these Thursday night games tend to be lopsided. They tend to go one way or the other a lot of times because one team is more prepared than the other. Um, but some um, but some of the other implications in this game, the Chargers defense, the the Chiefs defense, what are the deficiencies of both defenses? Khalil Mack, um, he's going to be chasing around. You know, he did a good job chasing around Carr last week. Now now he has to chase around. 4 or 5 days later, there he goes. He got to chase around Mahomes. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see how good both teams are, what they bring to the table. And the Chiefs, to me, the Chiefs defense, um, that bend but don't break philosophy, is that going to work against the Chargers? Are you going to be able to stop them enough times? But I really think that the Chargers, in order to win that game, and you can write it down because it's going to be true. You can't come out thinking you're going to out throw Patrick Mahomes, or you're going to sling it all over the yard and you're going to win that way against a Patrick Mahomes. Because if that Chiefs defense gets you to go 3 and out several times, you're going to find yourself in the hole early. You got to be methodical. You got to drive down the field, mix it up, run plays, pass plays. Mix it up. Don't let them know what's coming. And like I said, don't 3 and out yourself. Capitalize on every opportunity that you get. If you get a chance for turnovers, you have to capitalize on the turnovers. Otherwise, Patrick Mahomes is just going to pick you apart on the other side. Like you can't match them that way. And I see a lot of teams coming to those games thinking that they can match them, but you have to realize that one stop could change the game. So that's where the Chargers defense is going to be important. Can they get Mahomes to 3 and out? Can they get Mahomes off the field? Those are the things that I'll be watching. And I also see how many fourth down, if it's close, fourth down decisions that the Chargers are going to make. Like, are they going to punt the ball? Are they going to go for it? Those things, because the head coach, he'll take some chances and that could come back to bite him. Am I expecting a close game? Really and truly? No. I think the Chiefs are going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. That's my opinion. I think they're going to win by, a huge margin, 2 touchdowns. I think, 13, 14 points. I think, maybe the final score will be 28-14 or something. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win that game. I just think that Andy Reid is always more prepared. I know it's going to come down to the players' preparation on such a short turnaround. So it's going to be which team wants it the most. And, I think the Chiefs might want it a little bit more than the Chargers. If it's a close game, I'll be surprised and I'll be enthusiastic about it. I'll be happy about it. As a fan, to watch teams play nose to nose, watch them go all out, that'll be great. But really, I think the Chiefs are still top dogs in that division, and we're about to see a good picture of that. We're about to see, you know, what the Chiefs are bringing, and I think the Chiefs. People always talk about statements, and I think the Chiefs' statement is that, hey, it's our division, it's us, it's us or bust. So I think they're gonna come out and prove that. Um, and now, with the time I have left, I want to say the NFL and Amazon. Wow, funny, right? The NFL and Amazon. So now you can't watch the game unless you have an Amazon. You can't watch the Thursday night games unless you have an Amazon subscription. So those that are not subscribed to Amazon, you don't have the Amazon Prime or Amazon Prime Video. Sucks. You won't be able to watch the game. You're gonna have to subscribe. Smart on Amazon's part, smart on Bezos' part, smart on Amazon's part, smart. Oh man, NFL. But what are you doing? What are you doing to the average Joe Schmo that just doesn't have any more money to shell out, man? Do we even count? Do we as fans even count anymore sometimes? I mean, this is a diehard fan show, and I have to ask that question: do we even count? I mean, when they make these decisions, do they even think about stuff like that, or are we the last? The ones that actually put the money in your pockets, the ones that actually buy the jerseys, the ones that fill up the seats in the stands, or the ones that watch it at home. I mean, do the ones that watch it at home not even count anymore? Is it just all about the ones that show up to the stand? I mean, really. I mean, really. I mean, I can't knock Amazon's hustle. Like I said, don't want to take food out of anybody's mouths, man. But at the same time, NFL, for real, this is what we do. We make it harder in an economy where people are struggling. I mean, I know you made this deal last year sometime, but it was a struggling economy then. You foresaw this. You got people looking at projections. You got all this different stuff going on. And I get it. You want to capitalize on the Amazon market because a lot of people use Amazon. But not every fan in your sport has that. Why would you do that to people? Why would you do that to people? Remember back in the days when you made the move to you moved Monday Night Football to ESPN, and not everybody had cable back then? Man, you're making it hard for the average fan just to watch your sport. Like, is that what it's come to? Like, for real? I mean, this whole Amazon thing, man, it makes it hard for the average people just to enjoy the sport that they love, just to enjoy the game. Now you got to subscribe to Amazon. Those that are not subscribed to Amazon, you got to subscribe to Amazon now. How ridiculous, how much more ridiculous are we going to get? How far are we going to go? Like the NFL, you've had to support everything as a fan. You've always had to keep bouncing with it. Let's not forget NFL Network. The games that come on that broadcast. I mean, when that was only provided by DirecTV, you miss games. I mean, you had to it's all these hoops that you have to go through just to be a fan sometimes. I'm not questioning if it's worth it because it's a game that I love, and I'm gonna. I mean, with that being said, I'm going to watch. I'm going to figure out a way to watch. I'm going to figure out a way to support what I love. I mean, I think that's what the whole point is. But my point is, man, sometimes make it easy on the little fella. So don't forget, they always say don't forget the little people. It's like these leagues and stuff, these organizations, they forgetting the little people sometimes. They're not even thinking about, like, we, the fans are like the last thing on their minds, man. It's like it's all about a dollar. It's all about the best deals. It's all about whatever. But, and then hats off to Amazon, like I said, for, capitalizing on the opportunity and, seizing the moment and forcing, but this is the decision to make, like, like, man, you want to get that Amazon subscription, or you want diapers, man. I mean, that's tough decisions to make. I'm just saying, I mean, that's a little extreme, but I'm just saying, man, those are the decisions that you have to start to make here pretty soon. I mean, I don't know what made them think that this was a great idea, but, you're going to get a lot of viewers regardless. Like I said, some way, somehow, people are going to watch it. Those that borrow people's subscriptions and things like you're going to figure out a way to watch it if you want to watch it. Like I said, I figure out a way to be in it. I figure out a way to be a part of it, but I don't think that they think things through. And the average fan, the regular fan, is just becoming extinct. Like, we almost dinosaurs, man. Those that love to root on their couches, the couch coaches, the couch players, the couch commentators, and all that stuff, man. We've been wiped out. We've been wiped out. We've been pushed aside. We've been told that, hey, you know what? If you want to enjoy it, like, you're being forced to a certain thing. Like a person like me who loves to watch any game, especially when it's football, any game. Or, like, once they start doing this for basketball, where is that really going to put us? And, do you see that happening with basketball? Yeah, I do. If it works for the NFL, you can bet that it's going to be repeated in the other American sports leagues, man. And it's going to be tougher. So where does that leave people? It's like, man, and pretty soon you're going to have more subscriptions, than you do time to be able to balance it all, to be able to watch it all. It's like that's what it's coming to. That's where it's being pushed towards. And I really wish the NFL didn't make that move. Just so more people, just so more of the regular people that could enjoy it, but they don't think about, But nowadays it's like, hey, what's $8.99? Or if you want the full package thing, what's $100 and some, right? When everything else is through the roof, I guess that's the way they're looking at it. Well, hey, $8.99. Look at the gas prices. What, $8.99, $9 a day is what? 2.5 maybe gallons of gas or something. You know what I'm saying? 2.5 gallons of gas or something. I don't know. It's getting that crucial. But I just look at it. It is what it is. And with the last few minutes of the show, I want to thank everybody for listening to me. Not only that, I want to thank Sports for America for putting me on. And I want to say, check out the Stimulate Your Mind show, WDRB Media, iHeart, Apple Music, TuneIn, every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Central. Diehardfan, I'm here 8 p.m. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Central on Wednesdays. And again, I want to say thanks to that fraternity, man, Cyro 5, for showing me a great time in DC. Great event. If you're military, active military, retired military, and you're looking for a good organization that does good things in the community, check out Cyro 5. The sister, they also have the sisterhood, which is Cyro Kai, I think. But yeah, check that out. Also, my last words. Shout out to Sean for putting me on, Sean Stewart for putting me on with the whole Sports for America, right? And the things that he's doing, I got to give a shout out to his Super Draft Pro. If you haven't checked that out, you should check that out. And also the Nerd Focus, man. Big things are coming. I appreciate the platform. Those that tune in to me rant and those that go back and watch me rant. It's pretty cool because I'm not really ranting. What I'm really doing is representing for the fan. It's all about the fans. It's about the diehard fans, whatever you support, whatever it is. Even if it's not sports, you're a diehard fan. You're a diehard believer. Sometimes we get overlooked. We don't get heard. We don't get seen. We don't, but if we don't use our platforms to express ourselves, then we'll forever be overlooked. We'll forever be overshadowed. Now the game is great. I love all the athletes, those that sacrifice their time, their bodies to put on the best shows ever, and those that slack even. Hey, here's the funny thing about sports. If you're a fan, you've seen some slackers out there in sports, but even the slacker in a sport, in a professional sport, is 10 times greater than any slacker in any warehouse or any other field across. I mean, you have to let that sink in. These people are great at what they do. And looks like the Las Vegas Aces are going to win the WNBA championship. They're playing, I think they're playing the Connecticut Sun or something like that, because I don't think the Sky made it, so it's the Sun. But I know, that's how much attention, like I was telling you before, that's how much attention is being paid to a lot of that stuff. But kudos to the WNBA for still pushing and still trying. Hopefully they'll get over the hump, and hopefully they'll put in the near future they'll put out a better product. Something that everybody wants to watch. I'm not knocking it because I like the hustle, man. But we want a better product. I heard somewhere they said lower the rim. Maybe they should try that. Lower it to 9 feet and let's see some dunks or something. Let's see something exciting other than jump shots and you know uh, layups or something. I don't know what it's going to take to make that game more exciting. But that's my time. Um, Thank y'all for tuning in to the Diehard Fan. It's the People's Coach. Man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all days. And oh yeah, I'm taking in tomorrow night's game. I'm taking the Chiefs. In case you didn't get that, I'm riding with Patrick Mahomes.